Greetings, everyone. My name is Josietta Carmouche. I will be acting as the supervisor, giving a session with Stacy Waterford, supervisee, and we're going to be discussing the topic of self-awareness. Uh, this meeting is to address the following three questions, which will be answered after the completion of the following literature titled "Why is it important to understand yourself? Journey to Self Awareness." We will review 12 topics in this area to ensure clarification and understanding. Question one: how would you say you have developed at this point in your career? Question two: do you have any client cases, ethical dilemmas, or practice challenges that you would like to discuss? Question three: are there any areas of concern for enhancing clinical skills, self awareness, and professional growth? Okay, this is your literature. Okay, so first we're going to talk about what it means to truly know yourself. We could take turns reading the dialogue that follows each one, or I could read it all. How would you prefer?
I can read it with you.
Okay, first one. Have you ever paused and asked yourself, who am I really? That question might seem simple, but finding the answer can take a lifetime. Understanding who you are, truly knowing yourself is one of the most valuable things you can do. When you understand yourself better, you're able to show up more fully in your own life for the people you love and for things you want to achieve. Self awareness is a powerful step towards living more authentically and embracing the real you. With that being said, Stacy, is there anything that stands out to you pertaining knowing yourself?
Yeah, when you really work on yourself and you begin to heal, you start recognizing the things that you didn't want to be. And so on your healing journey, like I've been in for the last couple of years, you start changing, you don't even recognize you're changing. And so you work through your own stuff that I've seen in myself and the pain that I've endured. And then little by little, those parts of you that were broken heal. And so you become a different person.
Okay. Next, we're going to read about thoughts, emotions, and values. You want to read this one?
Yeah. Our thoughts, emotions, and values shape how we experience the world. They guide our actions, our relationships, and how we view ourselves. Taking the time to reflect on these things helps you understand why you feel and act the way you do. When you can recognize your core values, you accept or you're able to live in a way that feels more aligned with who you are, instead of just reacting to whatever comes your way. You can make choices that feel meaningful and true to you. This is the heart of self-awareness, getting clear on what matters the most to you and why.
In retrospect of that, when it's saying the heart of self awareness, getting clear on what matters most to you in this professional world, when you're interacting with clients, patients, what matters most to you?
I would say making sure that they're heard, making sure they feel heard and feel understood.
Okay.
So, yeah, that's the thing is not some people just speak and they don't recognize they're automatically in their mind trying to come up with an answer for the person they're speaking to instead of really hearing them.
Okay. Okay. Next would be how past experiences shape your present self perception. I'll read this one.
Okay.
Take a moment to think about your past experiences. Do you ever feel like certain memories shape how you see yourself today? Maybe some make you feel strong while others hold you back. It's normal, we all carry these memories, but what matters is how we choose to understand them. Those experiences, they're a part of your story, but they don't have to define your future. When you start looking at them with compassion, you can start untangling old patterns that no longer serve you and move forward with intention. You don't have to get stuck in what happened. You have to use it as a stepping stone to where you want to go. With this being said, there any areas of your life from your past that you are able to incorporate to strengthen you in a professional way? Uh, or are there areas that pull you back and cause you to struggle in the same way?
The things that move me forward is recognizing myself today and why I will react to things in the ways that I do.
Hmm.
So, just as a personal thing, one thing that would make me react is somebody just controlling me. And so, instead of just reacting, I have to recognize that their words are not controlling me. I'm giving them power to control me.
Okay.
And so I have to think clearly and make myself redirect in where I'm going instead of always reacting.
Okay.
And then the negative or the second question, what was that again?
Is there anything that pulls you back?
The thing that pulls me back would be focusing on the problem instead of focusing on a solution for myself.
Okay.
I can't change anybody else. I just got to work on me.
Got it. The next is improve emotional regulation. That would be on the next
Okay.
page.
Yeah, I turned it.
Okay.
Think about the times when you've reacted on impulse, only to feel regret afterwards. Knowing yourself changes that. When you're in tune with your emotions, you start to notice that what triggers you and why. Instead of getting swept up in a wave of intense feelings, you learn to pause, reflect, and decide how you want to respond. Do not confuse this with pushing emotions away. Emotional regulation allows you to feel your emotions without letting them control you. It's kind of like what we just talked about.
Correct. Correct.
With time, you'll find yourself navigating life's challenges with more calm, resilience, and a steady sense of inner peace.
Does this resonate anything in you? We were just
You were
talking
just
about
speaking
this.
about that.
Yes.
Yeah, there's a lot of things I notice now that I didn't, that I did before that I don't do now. I try not to.
Okay. So you've learned how to more or less self-regulate
Yeah,
your emotions.
when I feel triggered, then I have to put myself back in the space and go, why are you triggering? And if it's from the past, then I have to remind myself, this isn't the past, this is now.
Okay. What if you're dealing with someone, a client or a patient that their emotions are a roller coaster? How would you handle that? Would it affect you and your ability to maintain your emotional regulation?
Well, now I feel like I've had it happen to me quite a few times, and I try to get people or whoever I'm dealing with to breathe, count to 10, think about why you're upset, and let's go back and fix, work on us so we can rediscuss what's going on so we don't take this in a different direction.
Okay. Perfect. Perfect. The next is align and purposeful decision making.
You want me to read that one?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Life will always present you with decisions, small group, and some life challenging. Some when we or but when you know who you are and what you stand for, these choices become clearer. Instead, let's see, instead of guessing yourself or getting swayed by what others want, you'll be able to tune into what feels right for you. There are still moments of uncertainty. That's part of life, but you'll have a sense of direction rooted in who you truly are. Making decisions that align with your core values brings a sense of purpose and confidence, guiding you through even the toughest times.
Okay. With that being said, are there areas of your core value that you use in this field that guide you along the way?
Yeah, one thing I've noticed is in my life, there's a lot of people pleasing. Instead of understanding who you are and discussing or answering, I didn't even say that right. And so instead of people pleasing, you have to you have to listen to yourself and who you are instead of doing what others think is right for you.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one thing that I've struggled with, and it comes back to me that I need to stand up for my core values and who I am instead of just people pleasing and going along with somebody just because they say that I should do something.
Okay. Now, would that be applied to other staff members as well? For say, a colleague come in and Stacy, I need you to do this for me because I'm so backed up on my job that I need your help. But you're overwhelmed with what you have going on. What would you do at that point?
I would say, I've got a situation I'm dealing with right now. Can you give me a few minutes to finish this, and then I can try and come and help you?
Okay. Okay. The next is increase confidence and resilience. Imagine what it would feel like to into each day with a deeper sense of confidence, knowing that you can handle whatever comes your way. When you understand yourself, you begin to build an inner resilience that helps you navigate life's ups and downs. You know what your strengths are, and and you trust yourself to grow through challenges rather than shrink from them. Life will always bring obstacles, but self awareness allows you to see them as opportunities for growth rather than threats. To, threats to your well being. Confidence isn't about never feeling doubt, it's about feeling capable even when doubt is present. Miss Rutherford, have you experienced these moments when you have doubt yourself, and how do you handle it?
Oh, I think we all have. I think we've all had moments of doubting ourselves. But these days, I don't try to keep my mind in the doubt so much. I try to refocus and remember that the doubt doesn't come from me. It comes from my past experiences and not knowing myself. So, I make myself work through things, I guess. And usually when I'm scared of something, I push myself to do it. So, just like I was spoken to and about things spoke over me about not believing in myself, well, now I have to speak to myself differently in my mind and go, no, you got this. You can do this. You have strength to work through these things. So I try not to let the doubt override my mind and cycle in my mind anymore.
Okay. So the next one is self reflection practices. Questions to foster insight and growth. That's on the next page. Okay.
Yeah, I got 2 pages right here.
Yeah,
You stuck together
you got it.
eventually. Okay. Did you say okay?
Yeah, one of the most powerful ways.
One of the most powerful ways to know yourself better is by asking questions. The right questions can guide you to explore aspects of yourself you may have overlooked. Start with open ended questions like, what do I truly value? When do I feel most at peace? These questions encourage you to dig deeper, to, to go beyond surface level thoughts, and to connect with your inner desires, fears, and motivations. There's no rush. Self reflection is a journey that unfolds in its own time.
Okay. Do you ever find yourself at a point to where you have to ask yourself these questions? What do I truly value? When do I feel most at peace? There are countless times when we'll run into a moment of stressful moments in this field. How do you handle that?
Well, is everywhere in this world. So you have to know who you are. You have to identify who you are before you even get involved in other things outside this world.
Mm-hmm.
So that was part of why I was working on myself to heal, was to learn who I was. Because when you don't have your own identity and people tell you who you are, who you should be, or what you should say and how you should say it, you just kind of fall in line with what they want instead of yourself.
What they want.
So now they don't get to speak those things into my life. And people who do that, I just set boundaries with them and say, well, if you want to do that, you're gonna have to find someplace else to do that because it's not gonna be in my
Got it. That's right. Set boundaries, which is one of the next ones. All right. Tools for self awareness, journaling, mindfulness, and meditation. There are many ways to explore your inner landscape, and different tools can offer different insight. Journaling can help you capture your thoughts, emotions, and experiences, giving you a written record to look back on and learn from. Mindfulness and meditation, on the other hand, allow you to sit with yourself in the present moment, helping to quiet the mind and create space for self awareness to grow. The mentally strong method also provides a structured approach to this journey, guiding you to organize and understand your thoughts and choices. It's all about finding what resonates with you. There's no right or wrong way to connect with yourself. Miss Weatherford, is there any tools that you find handy that help you to ground yourself or to find self regulation in those moments?
life. I have to give myself time to walk away from a situation. Now, I don't believe in walking away and never resolving. I think in any situation, especially negative situations, you can say, like, it's okay that you feel that way, but I think you need to give me a minute to get my thoughts together before we try to talk through this. I don't like when people never resolve anything, but if there's a negative situation and you guys are having disagreements or whatever, I think that giving each other space and then coming back to it and saying, okay, let's just talk through this so we can understand each other.
Okay.
So I'm better at that than because I don't like drama and back and forth stuff. I'm just not made for that. So yeah, just walking away and just saying, okay, you gave me what you wanted to give me. We can talk about this, but I'm not going to argue about it. Let's just you're okay to have your opinion, and I'm going to have my opinion, whether we agree or not.
Okay. In other words, give you time to process it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, got you. Okay, setting boundaries, as we just mentioned. Align with your true self. You want to read this one?
Understand your limits and set boundaries that honor them. Boundaries aren't about shutting people out. They're about protecting your peace and ensuring that your needs are met. Reflect on the areas in your life when you felt stretched too thin or compromised. By setting boundaries, you give yourself the space to thrive and grow. It's an act of self respect, a way of saying, I value myself enough to honor what I need.
Do you uphold to the understanding of setting boundaries?
I do, but I know that a lot of people don't. I've had people in my life who would control with boundaries.
Mm-hmm.
And so I would always look and go, that's not a boundary. That's you controlling the narrative of our situation.
Right.
But, and that's the part I think a lot of people don't understand. You're not trying to change that person or say, you have to do this or else. But telling somebody, like, this is my boundary for my life. And if you don't want to understand it, that's on you. But, like, to me, it's like if you were in a situation where your husband was an alcoholic, you can't change that if you're choosing to stay in that marriage.
Mm-hmm.
But you can say to him, if you're going to continue to come home drunk or you're going to drink, I'm going to leave. And when you get yourself together, then we'll work through this.
Okay.
But some people will take and say, well, you need to do this or you need to do that, instead of finding out what the situation is about. I mean, you can't fix anybody, but you choose to stay in the situation or you choose to do what's best for you. You can't change people. So yeah, I've been in a situation where people don't accept my boundaries.
How do you handle that?
I let them know that if they're continue to behave in that way, then I'm gonna take care of myself. That they can live their life the way they want, but it's not gonna be in my life. So I give people chances. I don't just automatically cut you out, and I don't do it because I don't love you. I just do it because I'm protecting myself and my peace and my home.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Accepting change as part of your growth journey. You want to read that one?
Yeah, self discovery isn't a destination, but a continual process of growth and transformation. As you learn more about yourself, you may find that Your values, goals, and needs evolve. Embrace this change. It's a sign that you're learning, growing, and becoming even more attuned to who you are. It's okay to change your mind, to shift your priorities, and pursue new paths. Each step of journey, each step of the journey brings you closer to a life that reflects your true self.
Okay, with that being said, accepting change. How do you handle change?
That's been a hard one for me, but recently I've had to realize that change is not bad. Change is actually grows you and builds you. And coming from a family that does not accept change at all or feels uncomfortable with change, I had to tell myself that change is growth.
Okay.
And so that's how I deal with it. I'm like, okay, I may not like it, I may not feel good in this moment, but if I push myself through it, then there's going to be growth, and it's going to change me, yes, but it's going to be better in the end.
Okay. So my next question was going to be, how do you handle constructive criticism, which you basically just answered. So if you receive constructive criticism, you are willing to process it, and if it if it's fitting for you, you're willing to work with it.
Mm-hmm.
You are okay.
Yeah.
The next is finding peace and confidence in who you are becoming. There's quite there is a quite confidence. Is that right?
Quiet.
There's
I got you.
there's a quiet confidence that comes from knowing yourself deeply. It's a sense of peace that allows you to move through the world with grace, grounded in your truth as you continue on this journey of self discovery. Remember to celebrate how far you've come. Thus, trust in the process and know that each day brings new opportunities to learn, grow, and become even more aligned with your authentic self. Finding peace within doesn't mean your journey is over. It means you found a home within yourself. Let's use this topic to discuss, do you find that peace within yourself with the setting of this organization and moving forward? As in working with us, do you find yourself you could maintain that inner peace and move forward?
Yeah, I think that if I've already just decided that I want to work within a company, then I've researched and studied through who you are and the kind of company you are. So I've already decided within myself that this is a company I want to work with, and I have peace about it.
Okay. So you would hold that to high regard, that sense of inner peace must be there to maintain a structured, a functional,
Work environment?
yes,
Yeah.
functional work environment. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, the next is the path to self understanding. That'll be yours.
Okay. Understanding yourself is an ongoing journey, one that deepens as you explore your values, your emotions, and the patterns that shape your choices. As you grow in self awareness, you'll find greater confidence, resilience, and a sense of self alignment with who you truly are. Remember, this process isn't about achieving perfection, it's about finding comfort and strength in your own story. If you're already taking the next step, consider tools like the mentally strong method, which can guide you to think, organize, and choose with clarity. Embracing a method that helps you move forward with intention can make all the difference in creating a life that is fully authentically yours. That feels authentically yours.
Okay. With this path to self understanding, with your understanding, your mindset on self understanding, how do you fit in this organization?
I would say that I already know the choices that I'm making is going to lead with this organization, or I wouldn't be here. If I didn't think that it was going to take me on the path that I'm already on in my workspace, then I wouldn't be here.
Okay, appreciate it. Okay, so we're gonna go back now to the three questions. Um, How would you say you have developed at this point in your career?
I think a lot of my developing comes from life skills, not necessarily educational skills, although I've had some education. I think that this organization and working with clients, I've learned personally through other jobs that I've had and working with people, through life skills of meeting people and different places in their lives and just giving them time to speak to me and not judging them. So even if they're on a different path than I'm on and I haven't don't agree with their lifestyle, I still speak to them. I still ask them questions and gather information about their life so I can understand people better.
Okay. Do you have any client cases, ethical dilemmas, or practice challenges that you would like to discuss?
Yeah, I have encountered situations with jobs that I've had where the hiring managers didn't take into consideration. They took into consideration the clients that we worked with, but they would put us with clients that really didn't fit us. So in my one situation, I was struggling with aggression with patients, like being aggressive, and they put me in a group home with a few aggressive patients, and I'd go back to them and say like, this isn't a good situation for me, but they always cared more about the clients and instead of thinking about where the best fit is
The
for
staff.
our staff.
Right. Okay. Are there any areas of concern for enhancing clinical skills, self awareness, and professional growth? Are there any other areas of concern for enhancing your clinical skills, self awareness, and our professional growth?
There's no concerns. I would just say that if there's ways of enhancing my growth in the company, then I'm up to taking classes or learning or being trained. That's the one thing though, is a lot of our supervisors don't train correctly. So the one thing I would be concerned about is if you put me in a higher position and then I'm not trained by somebody who understands the position and then people learning differently too. So I just think that's something that needs to be considered in in moving people up in the company is people learn differently. So the company needs to understand that the way one person learns about things isn't the way other people learn about things and catch on with it. So I would just say that our supervisors need to understand it may take somebody longer than other people to learn and how to learn what they're supposed to be doing in the next part of their job.
Okay. Thank you so much, Ms. Rutherford. This session has been somewhat outside of the box in presentation by offering the full a broadened understanding on self awareness, then going back and uh, answering the questions. It allowed Ms. Stacy Weatherford to be truthful, open, and presented dialogue that could give guidance to myself as a supervisor as into what it would take to build a relationship and a good rapport with Stacy Rutherford as a staff member. This is basically the end of this session. Thank you. I don't know. End session.
I think we did good. I hope.
I hope.